looking into the future, what's coming up that really will affect your restaurant, or at least you should consider to include in your restaurant business. Let's take a look at what's coming up. Today's program, starting right now. Share it. Let everyone else know what's happening right here. Restaurant business today. Hello and welcome once again. Now there's so much news, so many things to talk about. Restaurant businesses, a complex business. You can't really get complex. We like to put everything in order and have everything nice and ready to go for you, for the smart ones out there that really want to be successful but not have to go through all the hassle of the hard way. And also for those of you who want to profit big from the restaurant business without all the risk, all the investment, this is the way to go. So visit the URL after this video. Hey, listen, we're looking into the future. I have my crystal ball. Let's go and see what's in the future with your restaurant and food business. All right, and here we are. We're again looking at our feed streams, and this thing caught my attention from restaurant hospitality. Cannabis ghost kitchens, plant-based proteins, and more food and beverage trends from our editors for 2020 and beyond. So these are the guys looking in to say, well, look, these things are at the doorstep. These things are what restaurants, big and small, should be looking into, dealing with, making decisions about. Should we do it? Should we include it? Should we address it? Or just feature our other strengths? And so these are the decisions that can make or break you, and here goes. The first thing is consumers will eat for better brain health. There's a lot of Alzheimer concerns about brain health going on. There's things that people are worried about, basically health-wise. We've been discussing this for a while, the place of health considerations within your marketing and your mission for your restaurant, or what type of leaning, because we eat food for different reasons, but there's a great number of people that are let me just set something up here. If I neglected to do this, so I'm just going to have to just add it in. One moment. Great number of people that are simply let me try. This is already in. Let me just go back. Okay, right. So sorry about that, folks. I have a transcriber. It didn't reset itself, so I just put it back to reset. Okay, so there's a lot of people who are worried about their health. Sorry for the interruption again. Very unprofessional of me. So they're thinking about their health, and one of the big things is mental health. Not in the sense that I just said, of course, mental health means different things. But in terms of the health of their brain, the thinking process, is people worried what happens as I age, loss of cognitive abilities, otherwise known as cognitive decline. As a psychotherapist, I understand these brain issues. And then, of course, the frightful Alzheimer. So listen, people are really concerned about this. The question is, should your restaurant be concerned? Should your restaurant use this as a benefit, one of the features of its menu items or selections on its menu? To which degree should your menu selection be based on these choices? So these are questions that when you're starting a restaurant, you should be asking firstly or principally, but especially that you have your restaurant ongoing. Should you be introducing new items, number one? And I always say yes. And then the second thing, should this be part of your consideration? A lot of this also has to do with the community that you're serving. Since you have to look at your community, and maybe doing a poll survey of the present customers and what things would they like to see? Would they like to see things that help improve their brain functioning or help to strengthen their cognitive strength so that try to avoid issues in the future, maybe even Alzheimer's. Is this something they're interested? Blah blah blah, things of that nature. So you just get a sense and feel of what's happening in the community, being aware of other organizations in the community, and the things that they're concerned about. A hospital, visiting the hospital would be a good idea as well. If you have a major hospital, usually they produce a newsletter, and the newsletter usually starts indicating certain concerns that the hospital is addressing. So you may want to see what's happening and inquire with some community liaison at the hospital to get an awareness of things that are happening in the region, so that you can make a suggestion and at least consider that in your decision making process. Of course, I guess most people should recognize the cannabis leaf. Also, that becomes an issue. These even though it's really too new to even seriously consider this in a widespread way or manner, but it is a factor. Some things, even though there's still federal regulations, there's problems with employees showing a positive on their tests. Should there really be more food items available with this ingredient in it? It's a quagmire, and it's also a legal minefield. But there are certain states that it's clear, and again, depending on where your food business is leaning toward, this may or may not be an option that you should consider as well. And the another thing happening also is the ability to custom make your liquor based beverages, adjusting the amount of alcohol content within the drinks is a big money maker, because there's people, of course, that are not drinkers like that. There's people who find drinking high alcoholic content not something they're amenable with, but a great many of them would take a small amount if that was an option. Of course, nowadays it is. So you may want to consider having slight or custom amounts of alcohol by volume in the drinks that you are offering in your restaurant. We predict that softer liquors will become more popular on the restaurant menu. So again, that is an option. A lot of people do not want to incorporate a bar feature. Many restaurants are doing so, but now even more so, you can have that crossover population, which represent a great many more customers. And personally, I think they would pay the same amount personally, because it's as simple. They're getting the fun, or and the feeling of having a an adult drink without suffering the need and the repercussions, perhaps even just within themselves and their own moral compass of being of drinking a full powered alcoholic beverage. At least this way, it's more like a little bit of a spiked juice, just slightly, and a little less, or even to the same degree as some over the counter medications for the common cold, which is commonplace. So simply, I think that's a big money maker, frankly. And again, it's in another area where the restaurateur can differentiate, not only in the fact that he's offering this as a choice, as an option, but also in the types of drinks, the creation, because most of this is about creating that fancy looking drink, and again having the rave about it. Again, another, as we did in our previous program, talking about previews and warming up your clientele and also the marketplace. This is another option of something coming up, something coming soon, and the building of the drink itself, the beverage with its different ingredients on a week to week basis, whatever. The saga continues as you're preparing this expectation of this new entry into your menu. I think it's a great deal in terms of the marketing power in and of itself. It's just a fantastic thing to incorporate. Absolutely. We also have the issue of plastic bags and things like that that are used for your, you know, utensils, the plates. Some certain restaurants and food trucks and other food businesses are incorporating or have traditionally used. These are becoming more of a no-no in our as days progress, as people are very highly sensitive to environmental issues. This is becoming more and more of your market base, so you really need to pay more attention, because especially because other restaurants are doing that, and they're taking care of not using plastics any longer. So you're going to have to, as the people become aware that yeah, that's a thing, you're going to have to be able to just move on from using plastics. There's many different ways, making sure that what you're using is reusable, recyclable, for composting. The more green you can make it, the better. In other words, you're telling your customers, we don't use plastics here. We're preserving the nature and helping it with using materials that can be composted and returned beneficially back to nature. That's a wonderful line. It's a wonderful feature, and you get a lot of thumbs up in the community for that one. Another trend that it's been around for some time, but now it's really gaining strength, is boneless chicken, by the way. Boneless chicken, wings, obviously, it's all about wings. It's the ease of wings. I think the what's good about the wing, personally, I'll share a little bit of my personal opinion on that, is that it's like having a drumstick and a wing, right? Because it's like it's two pieces. A wing has that drumstick looking part, right? The upper part, and then you have the lower part, which is the wider wing band of it, right? So basically you have like these two pieces to it, and you can do without the drumstick, but you have a perfect small chicken item. But more and more of these kids today. We see it here in my own home, and so that those chicken nuggets, what McDonald's did to chicken is permanent damage. We even had a kid here that did not even know what real chicken was. Isn't that a shame? It's sad. As I do foster care, and we do the therapeutic level, it's really sad to see a child who grows up and doesn't know what a real chicken meat is. The only thing they knew of chicken was the chicken nugget. And then as my wife served a meal with a real piece of chicken on it, they were shocked, and they did not know what to do with that piece of whatever that was on their plate. My goodness. And we thought the child loved chicken. And then my wife even said, I thought you said you love chicken. I said, this is chicken? That's a sad thing, but it's what's happening. It was an indication of what's going on more and more in society, as they don't appreciate the real thing anymore, and they want to have the ease and the fingerness of the chicken nugget, which is of course sans the bone. Without, that means without the bone, for all you English speakers out there. So again, this is the way things are changing. So you're going to want to think about if your restaurant business is incorporated, has the culture and part of its mission, its appeal, its design to incorporate something uh, as a boneless uh, finger food that a boneless chicken would represent. And of course, it doesn't have to be chicken really. What the idea is that anything, any meat, or even more so, alternative meat, plant-based meats, so-called alternative meats, shaped or at least the size, bite sizes and the finger sizes, where their familiarity and the size of the their boneless counterparts, or boneless counterparts for that matter, is that relationship and that familiarity. That's also great options as well. So that's what you got to be looking at if you're going to go into chicken, or you're going to go into anything that includes a finger type of food, that type of genre. You'll need to look at boneless and also non-meat alternatives as something to consider putting on your menu. But don't forget the barbecue sauce. Never forget that. This again is at Restaurant Hospitality. Here we got the portions will shrink in the future, which is a sad part of, for me. I hate small portions. I know the doctor wants me to have them, but if you're making that great food that I know you guys are making, I don't want to eat a small portion of it. What is the point of that? So anyway, this is debatable. This is going to get a lot of backlash on that, especially from me. But yeah, you know, I'm from the older generation and the fatter generation. These guys, lean and mean. That's what's happening right now. Lean, mean, green. Lean, mean, green. That's my quote there. So you can use that. Lean, mean, and green. So you want to concentrate on healthy, leaner, smaller servings, and obviously more variety. I would imagine the only way I can get satisfied, I'll take less because I actually don't eat a lot. I don't. I really don't. You can. We had Chinese last night. I only ate half, which is a lot even, but I only ate half of the serving because I just can't eat any more than that. I don't eat that much. So yeah, something like that would fill me. If they call that a small serving, that's fine because that's okay for me. And I just love broccoli, so hey, listen. But yeah, more of a variety of foods. Again, if they're interested, if your restaurant and your food business is interested in attracting the lean and green market, obviously this is something that you have to really focus on, and just and some of you guys that are still serving up those big meals, you still see me, but it may be that your time is running out. It may be. So start thinking about lean, mean, and green. Okay. Eventually that's going to be the mainstay. That's where it's going towards. The other thing is deliveries. Uh, in our network, as you see in the URL in the beginning and the end of the videos, we talk about that being incorporated as part of our network. That's an absolute. Although we have a better solution in our network than the options, the third-party options you guys are have only out there in the open market. So again, I believe we do have a winning solution, a better solution, more competitive. But again, that's again something that you'll see and look through when you see our URL and look through that video. But that's also something else you got to consider. More and more restaurants are going to um, want to consider third-party delivery systems so that you can simply sell more. Obviously, your place will get filled up. There's a whole segment of people that once your restaurant starts filling up, they won't go there any longer. They either don't like the noise, they don't like too many people around them. And the other thing is that a lot of times your service degrades when you have a full house. So you have to be careful of that. I've seen that happen. Some of you guys cannot handle a full house. The food starts coming out colder and colder, and the service becomes rushed. The staff becomes stressed, and this translates into a degradation of quality of service. So that has to be mitigated. So you guys gonna have to take care of that. One of the ways I think that benefits you in having a third party delivery system is offering a way to reduce the traffic coming in, especially at peak times, and still make the sale. You have some of these places have large queues. Again, that's another issue that makes people just walk away. I've seen many do that, especially in main touristy areas like where I live. People want to eat. They've been walking all day, they've been at the parks all day, they've had a rough day, whatever have you. They're just tired. And then they have to sit in a queue in the lobby or outside the restaurant for what, a 30-minute, 40-minute wait. It's like ridiculous. Again, give them the option. You can have it delivered. Sit down. You don't have to worry about cooking. You're gonna eat, but and you'll be comfortable, and you just share with your family. And even offer them a free gift, because obviously you could not service them at the restaurant. Offer them something, a free gift in the delivery. And hey, listen, good to go. Retaining customers, make the sale, get good word of mouth. I think that's a win-win situation. Okay. And then here, that's interesting. Plants will replace more proteins across the menu. Again, we're getting more and more plant-based in our selection. So again, this is something that you will want to look into. I don't believe, at least my generation or the people that are meat eaters, are ever going to give up their meats unless they're medically have to, do that. But hey, listen, the way to win us guys over is to really make it taste great. I mean, you make something that's vegetarian based, that's really slamming. Why not? There's I can't think of them right off the bat, but I'm sure I do have an affinity for something vegetarian here and there. I can't think of it right now, but it goes to show you there's room for improvement. But in any case, it's something for you guys to consider and look at very seriously. And expect more restaurants without addresses. These are called virtual restaurants. And operators are starting to realize that these establishments offer a way to test out new menu items and attract new clientele. Again, this is made possible because of the third party delivery systems. You don't have to have them come and sit at all. You can have a restaurant without having to deal with people sitting in the restaurant, just totally delivery. It's totally delivery. It is more than just a pizzeria, it is a full restaurant that's totally delivered simply. And so that's another great option that is out there. Again, it reduces at least the worry about your staffing and all of that quality of service. Now the only problem that you relegate it to the packaging and the delivery, the usually third party delivery system. So that may make or break the operation for you. But otherwise, if you're kitchen intensive and just want to focus on quality food preparation, then that is a definite. And if space is something that you don't have much of, again, the budget expenses and things, because having that extra space just for people to sit around, that can be a killer as well. I know that some fast food Chinese restaurants, they just keep it mostly the kitchen and maybe one or two tables are out there, but mostly it's to take out. So that works for them. I'm sure this is really more of an adaptation from the Chinese fast food model with now the facilitation of a third party, because they could have always done this like the pizzerias, but it was like, it's like they weren't looking at doing it that way. But now with the third party, that you don't have to worry about even hiring drivers and the problems of delivery. There's always going to be someone picking up and delivering. I think that's what really made the big difference. It's amazing how a little difference, a little feature can make the whole deal work, right? So that's what's happening with that. Again, the people that are in our network don't have to worry about delivery systems, because we have delivery built in to most of our restaurant brands. So all you have to do is, when you join our network, you see that video that you see listed the URL of, you'll see a lot there, and you'll know that all of your restaurants and your business, your food business, will be in the best supported and uh, marketable and deliverable state as soon as possible that you could have ever imagined. So it is the best option for you. Water will add value, it says here, as consumers continue to move away from carbonated soft drinks and toward beverages with perceived health benefits, or, as in the other case, with reduced alcohol by volume percentiles. You can expect them to move more and more toward modified waters. So then we have the specialty waters. Again, we're adding another profit center. Okay, so that's it for today on this subject matter. Things to look out for and to look into for a successful restaurant business. And as I said before, if you're thinking about starting a restaurant, or you have an idea, you have that special menu, that special dish that you have, the talent that you have, you want to start a restaurant around that, you need an easier way to do that. I know the reasons you haven't started is so many things: budget and the complications of getting a restaurant going, and then after all is said and done, equipment and decor and getting staff and management and all of those things, um, you have the risk, that heavy risk. All of those things we have eliminated for you in this package. So head on over there, take a look at how our network can help you make your restaurant dreams come true. It's not only restaurants too. Any food business, anything related to food, we can make it happen for you in this network. Take a look at it now, because we're going. Bye bye. Take care. Happy eating and making food. Happy selling. Take care.